Greetings of the day from CA Dr. Rajkumar Adukia. Happy Choti Diwali. We call this as a Narak Chaturdasi also because Lord Krishna killed Narak Sura. What we can learn from this day is that we kill one habit which is not desired or a bad habit, maybe like procrastination, getting up late, and convert into a good habit. Today, I would like to discuss about a new opportunity, a relatively new law called the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. This is called code because it comprehensively deals with insolvency and bankruptcy matters for all kind of enterprises. Now, this code came into force from 1st December 2016, and we will be completing 5 years shortly. Now, this code calls insolvency and bankruptcy, but insolvency, what we have understood in a common parlance, that an enterprise or a person, when they have liabilities more than assets, is insolvency. But under this code, insolvency is when a person or enterprise is not repaying after the amount is due. And if we look at the Companies Act 1956, we had earlier section 433, and where the application was to be made to High Court. Now, under this code, the application is to be made to NCLT. So this code has 255 sections and 12 schedules. It's more of a procedural code, and for a chartered accountant, it is very easy to understand this law because this law revolves around the finance, money, liabilities, the review of financial statements. Now, how we learn any new subject? We first learn a new subject in our mind that, yes, I am capable of having a mastery on this subject. And then we should buy the latest BEAR Act along with rules, regulations. We are fortunate now that the regulator also have a updated information on their website. Almost all regulators, IBBI, SEBI, IRDA. So that is a easier way. Then we can discuss, attend some seminars, conferences in the study circle, and those who are already practicing on this subject, there are professionals forum. So coming back to the nitty-gritty of the law, this code, very few legislations are called code. Like we have Indian Penal Code 1860, we have a Code of Civil Procedure 1908, we have a Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, then we have a Land Revenue Codes in, this is the state subject in all states. Now, this code has 5 parts. Part 1 has 3 sections. And another feature of this code is this code has 3 definition sections. Section 3, Section 5, and Section 79. Part 2 of the code, which is from Section 4 to Section 77, applies to corporate person. What is corporate person? It is company, LLP, and body corporate, because they are created by the law. And then part 3 applies to the individuals and partnership under Partnership Act, general partnership. Now that part is yet to be notified. Under the code, there is an adjudicating authority. For corporate person, the adjudicating authority is NCLT. And then the appeal from NCLT goes to NCLAT. For individual and partnership, the proposal is under the code, Debt Recovery Tribunal as a adjudicating authority. Now, any law, any code is administered by one of the ministries. This is the central law. We have 53 ministries in central government. So Ministry of Corporate Affairs administer this code, because all functions of the government happens through ministries. The regulator under the code is IBBI, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. And it is one of the finest regulator where we have everything updated on their website. The amendment takes place yesterday. Today we will have an updated legislation in place or updated regulations. Then the ecosystem in IBC is that we have a corporate persons and individuals and general partnership who may be liable to repay to the creditors. In corporate persons, we divide the creditors into two parts: operational creditors and financial creditors. The operational creditors are those who supply services or supply goods. Financial creditors are those who give finance. From 6th June 2018, the buyers under RERA. So we normally use the word home buyers, but it will include the office buyers, the industrial, the plot buyers. All those are also considered as a financial creditors. So far, this code has been amended 4 times. The latest amendment is on 4th April 2021, where micro, small and medium enterprises, which are 6.3 crores, can make an application under Section 54C, and where the amount is 10 lakhs and more, they can have a pre-packaged insolvency resolution process. Now, this code deals with both. As we know, the word resolution means it is a settlement between the creditors and the debtor. So we also play the role of mediators, the role of arbitrators. Another myth among professionals is that there is an exam under this code where to become an insolvency professional, one should have completed 10 years, the chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant. And persons who has a management experience 15 years, other than CA, CMA, company secretary and legal professional. But the major area of practice, insolvency professionals are eligible to be the interim resolution professional, liquidator, bankruptcy trustee. But other areas of practice are to make an application to NCLT. And that can be made by a professional. Say today one receives a certificate of practice and membership one can make an application today itself to NCLT, which is made under section 7, 9, 10. Section 7, the financial creditors, section 9, operational creditors, section 10 by the company itself, and section 54C for MSME in the pre-packaged insolvency resolution process. Then other areas where one can work is, there is a committee of creditors, so assisting committee of creditors, assisting the corporate debtor, assisting financial creditor, assisting operational creditor, assisting the registered valuer, because the valuation report is required under the code by the resolution professional, and to make a resolution plan, to assist resolution applicant, the consultancy in this area, the limitation period, claim verification, assisting, one of the claimant, one of the person who has to receive the money from the company, which has gone into the resolution process or a liquidation process. From 1st December 2019, 2 years back, the individual guarantors to corporate debtors are also subject to this code. As we know that under the Indian Contract Act 1872, the liability of the guarantor is coterminous with the debtor. That means the creditor can make a claim from the guarantor without approaching the debtor. It is not required that he should first approach debtor, exhaust all the remedy. So, and now the creditors have started filing the cases against the individual guarantors. So this is one area of practice, assisting the individual guarantors. And guarantee is a contract, tripartite contract under the Indian Contract Act 1872. From my practice experience, I have seen that sometimes the creditor do not follow all the terms of the guarantee contract. And in that case, a plea can be taken कि they have not complied all terms, they have not come with the clean hand, and guarantor is not liable. Similarly, in liquidation, there is a liquidation process. There is a voluntary liquidation also happens under this code. So these are the various areas where the forensic audit is one area, because the insolvency professional has to ensure that there are no avoidable transactions, there are no fraudulent transactions. So there are immense opportunities in this area of IBC, and I always have experienced and feel that in new law, the young members or those who want to add on to the basket of the services which one wants to provide, one must explore the new areas. And in new areas, each person is a learner. So even a senior professional has to read the new law. And the best way to capture a new law mastery is that we should start reading when there is a thinking of making a new law. First there is a committee is to be formed which makes a study, like in this code also we had the bankruptcy law reform committee, Then committee gives a report and a draft law. That draft law is weighted by the relevant ministry. Amendments are made, and then bill comes to the parliament, either of the house, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. After the bill comes to the house, normally each bill is sent to a select committee to have a public opinion. After the select committee gives the report, there is a revised bill introduced in the parliament. Then there is a approval by both house, and President of India approves the bill passed by both houses. Then rules are made, and then regulations are made by the regulator. So the lot of time flows between the concept that the new law is to be made and the legislation being made. One of the example can be the Personal Data Protection Bill, PDP bill, which is pending in Parliament since 2019. So I wish you that on this occasion of Choti Diwali, we make more wealth and prosperity by adding to the basket of our services, and make our client also the prosperous by providing our services. Please like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this video, and do let me know the topics on which you would like to have more video. Visit my website also, which contains a lot of useful articles and other social media platforms where I keep on sharing my experience and knowledge. Thank you.